Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the basement. Unbelievable opportunity with silver and gold right now. $355 silver, $334 silver. Maybe we'd settle for that. What about gold? $20,000. I'm going to give you a bunch of reasons in this video why numbers like that shouldn't seem so crazy. I think we have been beaten down for so long as silver investors in particular that when we think of these numbers, they seem like they're unachievable when they are indeed achievable. And I'm going to give you a couple examples that are going to make you smile as a silver and gold investor, but nothing makes me smile as much as when you join me down here in the basement. It's a cold and lonely basement without you. Think about that. We are connected through the miracle of technology that a lot of us could have only dreamed of 20 or 30 years ago. So welcome to the basement. I hope you feel like you found a home away from home. I want you to come back. One way you can ensure that will happen is by subscribing to the channel. That's free. Leave a comment. We want to learn from you. Your thoughts matter. I see everybody in the comment section right now. That is awesome. Okay. And please be nice to each other because we're a nice community and you guys always are. We love our gold and silver. Share this with everybody. And super chats, never, ever expected. Always much appreciated. Let's talk about, let's kick it off with $355 per ounce silver. And I'm going to show you right now why we shouldn't think that's such a crazy idea. It's real, guys. This can happen. Check this out. This is a great one. I happened to dig this up earlier today. I had to go out here, and I got a lot more to talk about with you as well. Japan, China, everywhere we look, there's craziness right now in the precious metals sector. But this came from a guy named Capo Regime. He said, dude, he's talking about silver. We're talking 1980. It was $50 in 1980. In 1980, the average sales price of a new home in the United States was about $72,000, according to the census data, while in the second quarter of 2025, here 45 years later, the average sales price of houses sold had risen to approximately $512,000. So from 1980 to today, houses went from being about 72,000 to 512,000. This means that in nominal terms, home prices are about 7.1 times higher today than they were in 1980. $50 per ounce silver multiplied by 7.1 equals 355. And guys, this is not voodoo magic math. This is just real common sense, right? The cost of a house from 1980 through today went up by over 7 times. Silver was $50 per ounce. And so for silver, just to keep up with housing costs, which is what silver does, is what gold does. That's their job. That's what they've been doing it for, like, I don't know, what, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years. We could see in today's dollars, right, in 2025 dollars, a silver price of $355 if it were just to keep up. And I think I saw right before I came on, he may have done the same thing with gold as well. Let me highlight this. What color you want? Let me see. Here we go. See if we can get this to highlight. And yeah, we can. We'll do it in that pretty bright blue. He says gold peaked out at about $850 per ounce in January of 1980. As of October 3rd, 2025, gold trades around $3,800 an ounce, which is roughly only 4.5 times its 1980 peak. So gold has some room to run as well, but silver really has some room to run. Next, we're going to talk about this prospect of, let me look at you and give you a smile. Again, guys, it's Saturday night right now. I'll be live again tomorrow morning around 11 with a lot more data, a lot more information, but so much more was coming in. I wanted to hop on here, say happy Saturday night. I'm glad you're with me down here in the basement. And while we're at it, why don't we talk about an analyst who's talking about $20,000 gold. And what do you think he thinks about silver? Let's go out to the Silver Academy and see what John Little says. He says he shares a VIP client email now. Now you're in the loop. Wall Street's bombshell. Morgan Stanley ditches bonds. urges gold, predicts $20,000 by Christmas of 2026. I don't think that's Morgan Stanley predicting that, but John, treasuries could crash and silver could explode 7x higher. What he's talking about here, and we're going to talk more about this later in the video, big Wall Street banks, big institutional investors, people like Jeffrey Gundlach, people like Ray Dalio, people like Stanley Druckenmiller are all talking about increasing your allocation to gold. Bank of America recently said it. I think Bank of America, one of their analysts even said a portfolio with 25% exposure to gold. But when he talks gold, he's talking. So that's what they're talking about. And if we do the math, let me read this to you. Morgan Stanley called for a radical shift away from the traditional 60% equity, 40% bond allocation, essentially cutting U.S. Treasury exposure in half. In plain English, the headline should have read, "Dear investors, sell your treasuries and buy gold." This is without question the biggest piece of financial news ever dropped on the American public right now in 2025. And strangely, no one's talking about it except for yours truly. John, we're talking about it too. And so are all the people down here in the basement who appreciate your great content on your Silver Academy Substack. The people, by the way, for all of you out there, hold on, let me give you a look, then we'll get back to this. The people out there who aren't, hey, thank you, Leonel Flores. Wow, $9.99 super chat. Here, I'll pull that up on the screen. The people out there, I know you're waiting for it, who aren't talking about it. There's like 98% of the people that aren't talking about what you're talking about. We're like part of the 2%, at least here in St. Louis, Missouri, United States of America. The other 98%, they're watching CNN and whatever they're watching on cable news. They're clueless about what's going on. When they wake up, it's going to be a flood. I almost cursed. A flood of new money coming in. Right? Those people, right? You know what they are? They're the sheeple. Right? And we love them. But unfortunately for them, when they decide to get into silver and gold, and it's already happening, wait till you hear about what's going on in Japan. And tomorrow, I've got a big list I'm going to share with you of places around the world that are showing shortages of metal, either silver or gold. It could be happening right now. It's a big, big, big deal. Let me get back to that article. I apologize. Thank you again, Leonel. I appreciate the super chat. Always super appreciated. Never expected. All right, let's get back to the article. Deep breath. Okay. My projection, we should see $20,000 gold by Christmas of 2026, a 5.2% surge. And that's a conservative estimate. At a gold to silver ratio of 60, that puts silver at around $334 per ounce, meaning a potential 7x from today's price. And as we just saw, if silver gets to 50, right, even right now where silver is at what, $48 per ounce? In $1980 factored in for inflation, silver would already be at $334 per ounce. Okay, so that's very interesting. And we're going to look at the silver and gold price here in a second as well. And I'll show you that we are in backwardization, which is another screwy thing going on right now in the precious metals markets. But another screwy thing going on right now is that you may not know this, but the Chinese, who are a big source of demand for silver and gold, their markets have been shut down. It's their Golden Week holiday. It's been running since October 1st and will run through October 8th, combining the National Day and Mid-Autumn Festival. Factories, office ports, and most businesses are closed during these 8 days. The regular operations are scheduled to resume on Thursday, October 9th, 2025. And I don't know if a lot of you are new, but last year when their holiday was over, there were like pictures of like 800,000 people in one place at one time trying to buy gold. The Chinese are absolutely crazy. And I've got something to show you in a little bit about silver as well. So much going on. Take a deep breath with me. Now we are in a state of backwardization in the silver market in particular. That's when usually the spot price, the immediate price of silver, which I believe is from the LBMA in London, England, right? The physical quote unquote price is usually lower than the futures. So to buy silver immediately is less expensive than it would be to buy a futures contract to get it, let's say, 2 months from now in December. Right now, we're in a state of backwardization, which means that the futures price is actually lower than the spot price. The spot price is higher than the futures price. Let's take a quick look, and hey, it's fun to look at these silver prices anyway. So let's go to the spot market first. We'll go out here to Kitco, and I'll circle it for you. As you can see right now, silver, which is right here in the spot market. Oh, let me erase that. There we go. In the spot market is $48.04. Somewhere on here it says spot price. Darn it, where is it? Where is it? Well, anyway, you gotta believe me on that one. Okay. Now, so $48.04 for silver in the spot market. If we go out to CNBC and look at, this is the silver futures market. It's the December, as I'm circling their contract at the top. We are at a lower price, $47.97. We aren't like in a huge state of backwardization, but the fact that we're in a state of backwardization alone is a massive red flag about what is happening in the markets right now. I'm going to cover this next story in even greater detail tomorrow, but we're getting some stunning news out of Japan here as well. We'll go out to metals and miners. They say we're in a mania phase launch. Will Japan's gold scarcity ignite the global precious metals supercycle? Long lines outside of Japan's largest precious metals dealers, with citizens rushing to buy physical gold as a safe haven from a collapsing currency and a world drowning in debt. This gives us unobtainium vibes. This is from Tanaka, who is, I'll just read this to you. And it's all starting in Japan at Tanaka Precious Metals, a 140-year-old institution and Japan's largest gold dealer. Demand for small gold bars has become so overwhelming that they have been forced to suspend sales. The company announced due to large number of purchase requests, production of small bars is unable to keep up with demand. This is not a minor inconvenience. It's a sign of full-blown supply crisis in one of the world's most important precious metals markets. Remember, guys, we forget about this. Japan is either the fourth or fifth largest economy in the world. Fourth or fifth in the world. The images emerging from Japan are stunning. Long lines of ordinary citizens are queuing up outside of Tanaka's flagship Ginza store, desperate to get their hands on any physical gold they can find. Again, I'm going to cover this more, but it's all evolving so quickly. And we've got stories now coming out of Australia, South Africa, even Germany, I'm hearing. But here's another one. This was news to me right before we came on. It's not just Tanaka. Now, Mitsubishi Materials, another major Japanese precious metals dealer, has also been forced to implement purchase limits on small gold bars, citing similar production bottlenecks. And I cannot read Japanese, but I'm going to believe the the writer of this article. So it's crazy what is unfolding right now out there in the world of gold and silver. And we've not even talked about China yet. We know China is crazy about precious metals, but from what I'm hearing and what I'm going to share with you, now young people are getting more and more interested in silver in China as an investment as well. I thought this was very interesting. This comes from a very well-trusted, well-respected source in the silver community, Eric Young, King Kong 9888. He says it looks like Chinese retail buyers are now rushing into physical silver as an investment vehicle. It is reported that young people in China are stacking physical silver. And again, Eric is very highly regarded within the precious metal sector, and I know has contacts, as I remember, very deep contacts in the Chinese markets. But let's listen to what this guy is saying. This is 48 seconds long. This will be music to your ears. This is straight from China, translated into English for your audio pleasure.
Folks, today I have to talk to you about white silver material. This thing has been performing amazingly lately. Take this 15 kilogram piece of white silver material in front of me, for example. Let's not go too far. Just look up the value change this year, and I guarantee it will surprise you. Back in the year 2022, this 15 kilogram piece of raw silver was only worth $60,200. By 2021, it had already risen to over $70,000. In 2022, it continued climbing, reaching $80,000. And in 2023, it just surged, directly breaking through the $90,000 mark, officially stepping into a new era. Last year, which was 2024, the momentum didn't slow down, and the value directly reached over $110,000. Now, in 2025, which is today, its value has already surged to over $160,000. Everyone, do the math yourself. In this span of years, it went from $60,000 to $160,000. Isn't this change impressive? So, I want to ask everyone, do you think it's worth investing in silver material? We can chat about it in the comments section. Folks, today I had to talk.
Do you think it's smart to invest into white silver material? Yes, we do. We believe it is very smart. Okay, UBS puts out a new prediction. UBS, the giant Swiss bank, right? The Swiss bankers. We're going to talk about that. Let's hit on one more time a piece of information coming out about the 20% flood. Again, this comes from the Silver Academy Substack, okay, which talks about the flood, institutional adoption. This is a big deal, guys. The big institutions are adopting the metals, not central bank purchases, are now pushing gold and silver to new highs. Disastrous fiscal policies, historic deficit spending, mounting tariffs, regulatory missteps, and unsustainable debt service fuel the gold reset. I just want to read a couple quick paragraphs to you here. If just 20% of the 62 trillion U.S. stock market were reallocated to gold, over 12 trillion could flow into billion, an amount dwarfing all global central bank purchases in history. Wait a minute. Did I just read that correctly? Right? Just 20% of the U.S. stock market goes into gold. It would dwarf. Yes. Here we go. Hold on. There we go, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, you got to look at the Chinese guy for a while. Well, he's a nice guy. Hopefully he smiled back and didn't say anything bad about me from China. Now, let's go to the proper screen. And thank you, Susie. Can I interrupt you real quick? Yes, go ahead. Hold on, everybody. We're going to get back to that article. We have breaking news from our friend upstairs, Susie. For those of you who are new, that is my wife, Susie. She communicates via walkie-talkie. Go ahead, Susie. I was just introducing you. Over.
Apologies, it's not breaking news, but when you were doing the Kitco check on the silver and gold price, it says world spot price right above market close.
Okay. Oh.
Just wanted you to know.
Okay, so I was telling. That's okay. Thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. Everybody give Susie a high five, right? That's upstairs Susie. She's famous. And can you see her here? Yeah, she sits. That's my wife. I sit her nicely in a nice little purple Adirondack chair. 20%, just 20% of the U.S. stock market being allocated to gold. And oh, by the way, right? We've got some big banks, the smartest guys in the room, saying things like 25% allocation might not be a bad idea towards gold, and I think silver as well. That would dwarf all of the central bank, and that's what's been driving the silver and gold prices for the last, 18 months? Guys, this is big. It's happening, but it's not just there. It's UBS, the big secret bank. There's a reason why we want to listen to UBS. They're the secret Swiss bankers. Remember that? Huh? You're probably, if you're my age, even if you're younger, maybe you're older, remember the Swiss bankers? They know everything. They're ahead of the game. Well, let's see what UBS has to say about gold. Oh, and silver as well. And here we go. UBS, this comes from investing.com. UBS once again raises their gold and silver price forecast. I know you're dying to hear what it is, so I'm going to scroll down where I've already pre-highlighted it in yellow. Why won't that go away? I hate when these websites act up. UBS has raised its gold and silver forecast again, flagging strong momentum from investor demand, macroeconomic uncertainty, and persistent fiscal and geopolitical pressures. The bank now expects gold to reach $4,200 per ounce across all time frames, up from its prior view of $3,800 by year end and $3,900 by mid 2026. So now they're saying $4,200 for gold. This is interesting, though. There's a real kicker here, guys, for silver. Silver forecasts were lifted to $52 and $55 per ounce compared to the previous targets of $44 and $47. UBS strategists said the revisions reflect expectations of stronger central bank and exchange-traded fund demand. That's just getting started, the exchange-traded fund demand, guys, just getting started. And the tokenization of gold and silver, just getting started. Massive demand coming in from both of those, alongside ongoing support from declining real rates and fiscal imbalances. This is the kicker. All right, take a deep breath. The strategists also pointed to silver's quote unquote greater room to overshoot, given its higher volatility, adding that their forecasts remain skewed to the upside. Greater room to overshoot for silver, and that their forecast remains skewed to the upside. And what was their forecast again? $52 to $55 per ounce silver. And don't forget something very important. We talked about this yesterday, but in case you weren't paying attention, it's key for us to remember. My fellow basement dwellers, I'm proud to announce to you that when silver gets to $55, like UBS is predicting, there's going to be nobody out there, right? Nobody out there who's going to be sitting on a loss in silver. As a matter of fact, at $55 per ounce, every single person who owns any of this, like this 5-ounce silver bar from First Mint, anybody who holds any of this in their hands is going to be in the profit. Everybody that owns silver at 55, 56, 57. That is a powerful force because people don't sell anything, including this, when it gets to an all-time high. And you know, all the other factors going together. And while we're on that subject, I want to point out to you as well that today I'm also proud to announce that this I'm holding in my hand, this 5-ounce silver bar from First Mint. It's a beauty. Susie loves it, right? But there's less of this. Go ahead, grab a piece of your silver and realize today there's less of this on the face of the planet than there was yesterday. You can't say that about very many things. Stocks, bonds, gold. There's more gold today on the face of the earth than there was yesterday. But silver, because what, 2/3 of it is now consumed and there's a deficit, there's less on the market. Oh, by the way, what a great opportunity for me to say thank you to First Mint for sponsoring the Ron's Basement gold and silver content. They're a mint located in Las Vegas, Nevada. What's special about them is they're owned by First Majestic Silver, Keith Neumeyer's huge silver mining company. So they mine the silver in Mexico. They ship it to Las Vegas, Nevada, where it's transformed into world-class silver bullion products. And then if you decide to buy it, or when you decide to buy it, it goes directly to you. From the mine to the mint to you, the COMEX and the LBMA don't get their fingers on any of it. It's COMEX free. And because this silver is right out of the ground, it's the freshest silver on the market. Let me show you where their website is real quickly. They have free shipping on orders over $299. It is firstmint.com. You can go out here, check everything out. There's their Las Vegas round. Beautiful. I'll show you that later. You're the dragon, you're the snake, you're the dragon. One of my favorites, their buffalo round. I love that Indian inscription, but they got a lot more. If you go to their store and check it out, bars, rounds, accessories, and they got this cool Folds of Honor product line that benefits the Folds of Honor Foundation, which provides academic scholarships to the children and spouses of fallen and deceased members of the first responder and military. So please check out First Mint. Oh, by the way, there's a discount code, but keep it secret here in the basement. VIP RB. Very important person, Ron's Basement. VIP RB. Okay, we talked about UBS. Let's look at what happened for fun and not fun, but it's what could happen again in the future to the silver price during, where is it? Oh, shoot. How come I don't have that up? Where is it? Uh-oh. Hold on, guys. Silver and gold. Oh, here we go. I found it. Sorry, having some technical issues. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me. And here we go. Bye. I'm back. There we are. Let's look at silver's crazy ascent. We don't talk about this. Okay, thank you, sweetheart. Silver and gold staggering ascent during Germany hyperinflation. Remember, just because this didn't happen, the collapse of a currency during our lifetime, it's actually happened, right? Places like Venezuela, Argentina, other places in the world. Every fiat currency that's ever been created has failed, right? It's been experimental, paper, because the politicians get out of control. We won't go down that path. But it could. I'm not saying I don't want it to happen, but it could happen again. Some people might argue that maybe we're in that process right now. I hope we're not in the United States. But nonetheless, best case scenario, we know because we can operate a simple calculator. We know that the US dollar is losing real value every year. So in Germany in the 1930s, the Deutschmark, they were one of the biggest economies in the world, collapsed. And look at this. Here's silver. This is crazy to look at. See if I can get this to come up bigger on the screen for us. I don't think I can. Oh, there it is. Okay, excellent. Look at the silver price, what it did during that period. Let's just go right here. We'll say at 100. It went from about 100 in 1922, from 100, okay, all the way to, what is that? Million? Is that a trillion? Million, billion, all the way almost to a trillion, okay, from 100 to a trillion by, oh my gosh, is that in 1 year? That's basically 1 year from September. Yeah. September of 1922 through November of 1923. So during this period, right, that's what the price of silver did. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was that crazy. That's why you hear these stories about people in Germany at that time buying houses, buying apartments in Berlin for I think 100 ounces of silver. Guys, and again, like we started out this conversation, this idea of $355 silver, $324 silver, $20,000 gold, it seems preposterous. I've said it before, and I've been heckled. I've been called a shill for gold and silver 2 years ago right now. Silver was half of where it is today. Gold, I remember in October of 2023, I'll go check myself, but was half of where we are. Like these situations, like we've seen, let's go out to, we already looked at silver earlier. Here we go. There's gold. Let's check and see where gold was 2 years ago right now. And we're not going to get that on a 1 year chart. So we're going to switch it to a 5 year chart. And oh, wow, I got lucky. I landed right on it. So there was the gold price that says October 7th of 2023. So a couple days short here. And you don't see it, right? Because I'm just screwing everything up. Let's make sure you see it now, which you do. Sorry about that, guys. Here we are at the gold chart. And for your viewing pleasure, all right, let's go 923. Yeah, on the 7th of October, gold was $1,941 per ounce, which is absolutely a little less than half of where we are today. That is right here on that chart. So to think, right, that what the heck is going on here? There we go. That's right about, my markers aren't working. Hold on. Okay. I'm not going to give up. There we go. Right there. Okay. That was 2 years ago. So to think that we can't have these big runs up is not out of the question. Hey, look, I appreciate you guys so much being here. Part of the reason why I'm able to be here is because of my sponsors. That other sponsor right there, First Mining Gold. They're a Canadian gold development stage company. They have two huge gold projects in Canada, Springpole in Ontario, Duparquet in Quebec. These are both multi-million ounce development stage projects, which means they aren't mining the gold yet, but it's been drilled. It's been determined that these 2 multi-million ounce projects have all the gold in the ground. Now they're working through the permitting phase, the catalyst rich phase that comes along with pushing these things along the development time frame. What's interesting is that the big gold mining companies have not been keeping their pipeline of projects full. And now the big gold mining companies are looking to grow on top of that. They need to replenish their pipeline, but they also need to grow. And First Mining Gold has 2 of the biggest development stage projects in Canada, which is a very, very favorable jurisdiction. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com, or you can even reach out to their Director of Investor Relations, Paul Morris, Paul at firstmininggold.com. More happening. So I can't cover it all. There's so much happening, but let's take a look at this quickly. In the United States, a subject that we did stay on top of quite up. We got that from the dude. We got that ETF demand for gold is going up, but we also have this from Governor Ron DeSantis from Florida, who tweeted just the other day, signed, sealed, and delivered. DeSantis approves law allowing gold and silver as legal tender. I mean, we're talking about institutional adoption from the big banks, the big investment firms. We're talking about what's going on in the world with the world central banks. And in the United States, we can't lose sight of the fact that gold and silver on a state-by-state basis are continuing to be recognized as legal tender. It's really a wave going across the country. And don't forget that the founding fathers of the United States put that in the United States Constitution. I'm going to say hi to a few guys. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hello, Frank. Hello, Thomas Larson. Hello, Steve. Hello. And I want to say again, a special thank you to Lionel Flores for the super chat. Guys, we are in for an incredible ride in the precious metals. Look, a lot of us have been at this for many, many years. It's going to be super exciting as we head into the last quarter of the year, which we're already in, but into the year following. Please come back to the basement, okay? I love when you guys join us here. Like I said, it's a cold, lonely basement without you. 160 likes, okay. And hold on a second, Susie's, I'm getting directions from the boss. Could you please repeat your last statement? Over.
Sorry, 170.
170. All right. Hey, guys, we got 170 thumbs up. All right. You know what that means? The old golden gong. And no, this is not really made out of gold, but we can make believe that it is. Okay. I'm going to ring it 3 times. Listen to this resonate. All right. You know, I keep hardly any metals here at the house. Let me get my hook back on there. Here at the house. But I was thinking the other day, I remember when I went, this was probably 4 years ago, I went to my local coin shop. I was like, I need to buy, I never bought a lot of gold. Okay. I own gold mining stocks, but I never bought a lot of physical gold. I bought silver over the last 2 decades. Again, I keep it off site, all that great stuff. But nonetheless, I remember 4 years ago when I went and bought a bag of junk silver. I was never a big junk silver, a 90% silver guy, but somebody convinced me it would be a good idea. And I bought these 40%, what are they, 1965 Kennedy half dollars, I think they are. They're 40% silver. The rest is copper. And I thought, well, I'll be a copper stacker and a silver stacker. And I remember coming home and this was, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. And I paid, I think like whatever it was, like $7 for a dollar face. If I remember correctly, I looked the other day, it's pretty much doubled from where I bought it from. But I remember coming home and setting it on the kitchen table. It was a big bag, like a bank robber bag. And I thought, I had buyer's remorse. I thought, am I a fool for doing this, for putting my money into silver? I don't know if you experienced that feeling. But isn't it nice now that we're getting to experience a real, what I feel is sustainable bull market in both gold and silver. I know a lot of you have been at this for a long time. Those of you who are new to silver and gold, welcome, right? There's a lot to learn, a lot of great people, but a lot of us went through a decade more of believing, but things not working out in our favor. Right now, things are working in our favor. Could the price of silver go down? I mean, it feels hard to imagine. Hold on a second. Okay, I think she said 202 likes. It's hard to imagine a silver price, again, starting with the number 3, that's not 300, meaning it's hard to imagine silver going back into the 30s. It could happen at that point, and I've always been very transparent with you guys. I've not been buying a lot of silver personally lately, about a tiny bit, right? But if it gets back into the 30s, you can count me as a buyer. Susie says we got 200 thumbs up. And you know what that means? Man, we're pulling out all the bells and whistles and gongs today. That's our 200 thumbs up bell. We're going to ring it for you. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me in the basement. Take care of yourself, please. Okay. And I will look forward to seeing you next time here in the basement.